Hello guys, this is Julia Marcus again, and in this module we are going to talk about effective project management. Why effective? I assume that most of us have already got projects in the past or are planning to apply for more projects, and while many can think that getting funding is the hardest thing to do, this is completely not true. Sustaining funding and realizing the project, communicating with partners and getting the outcome that you want is a much harder work to do than you can imagine. Let's say in the last 2 years, myself, I coordinated around between 15 and 20 projects. And while for some it might sound insane, because normally a project manager takes care of 4 projects simultaneously maximum, I still did it. Yeah, and let me share with you what made it possible, because the projects were from very different fields, from KA1 accredited projects, KA2 small scale, KA2 big scale, ESC solidarity, and ESC volunteering, and I was involved in all of them. Also, of course, I must admit I got support, but still the overview and the responsibility was on me. What made it possible is exactly to find a system of how to make project management effective. Just doing projects, just having some steps in mind, just having a vague picture in the head was not helping. So I had to come up with a system, and of course this is a huge topic. Yeah, and for each of these projects there can be a separate roadmap. And by the way, we are developing this roadmap for future projects. Today I will focus on critical points. Yeah, so no matter whether you're busy now with KA1 or KA2, what are the critical points to take into account in order to manage your project effectively? So let's start from basic. The overall project cycle consists of 4 different steps. This is planning, preparation, implementation, and follow-up. Yeah, no matter what project you take, you will have the same steps. But within each of these steps, there are certain milestones and critical points you really need to take care about. Let's talk about it. So let's start with planning. Yeah, what is a critical point? So what are the mistakes I see very often? People design projects that are not aligned with their activities, with the profile of organization or their expertise. So for example, yeah, you're busy with youth work or unemployment of young people, and suddenly there is a call for integration of Ukrainian refugees. And then the organization decides to jump into the area where they have no expertise because it's a hot call. This is a no. Yeah, this is a bad strategy. Even if you get your project approved, later on you're going to struggle because you don't have the expertise. You need to either outsource it or start to do things from scratch. Yeah, and it's much harder than evolving in what you're already good at. Another point is collecting a good, relevant consortium. What I mean by it, yeah, I see, and oh my God, I hate this part, that there are a gazillion of Erasmus groups where people just post, hey, we are looking for an applicant from Sweden, yeah, or we are looking for partners in the project about environmental sustainability. And that's pretty much it. And this is the information that people base their decisions upon, whether to take a partner on board or not. Yeah, they just exchange PDFs, they include each other in the projects, and you know what? If we're talking about small use exchange, KA1 project, yeah, when you get people for 7 days, and more or less you work with the same topic, could be, it might be negotiable. But you see, I'm using could be, might be. I still wouldn't recommend it. But if you go for strategic partnership, this is no go. If you shape a consortium that is not relevant, that you don't know, that you don't trust, that there is no proper communication, believe me, later on you're going to struggle. And I'm not saying it just to say, I know it from experience. Yeah, we also in the past have been in the projects where consortium was not completely relevant, was not deep into the topic, or didn't have enough motivation to keep the project alive. And what happened later on, the results that were produced were staying on some no-name website, and this was hours of work of consortium of people from 6 or 7 countries, that the timeline was broken, that all the agreements were also not kept, and later on it created just crises and conflicts, and the project failed or almost failed. So once again, on the planning stage, make sure that the topic you are engaging yourself into is aligned and relevant to you and to your partners, and make sure that you invest your time and energy into actually forming partnership, getting to know your partners, discuss with them, talk, clarify responsibilities and tasks. So that's the planning phase. The planning phase actually comes on the stage of applying your project idea. But once you get the project approved, here is preparation starts. Several critical points on preparation part. First of all, establish good communication with your partners. Know where you can reach your partners. Is it email? Is it WhatsApp? Is it Facebook Messenger? Yeah, what is a shortcut? What is the official channel of communication where all key points or milestones will be included, but also what is the fast way to reach your partner? Recently, we've run into crisis by not being able to reach the partner in a very critical stage of the project for a week. And what we had to do, we had to take the decision and overtake a lot of responsibility on ourselves so that the project doesn't fail and it's running. So first of all, communication with partners. Second, clarity with timeline and tasks. Yeah, you're developing an intellectual output. Within what time frame you're developing? When is a deadline? I do it until the end of the month, you have more time, and who is going to check the progress? Yeah, what I really don't want to see and what I don't advise you to do is that there is 5 months period, and then in the last 1 week, everyone is working days and nights in order to fix because the deadline is there. I mean, like really, don't do it. And again, I'm also talking from my personal experience. Yeah, we have good times, we have bad times, but like this, we are creating extra stress that is not there in the project, because most probably there will be force majeures anyway. There are a couple of things that I want to separate here for managing KA1 and managing KA2. If you're managing KA1 on the preparation stage, what's very important is to prepare all information materials in time so that partners have enough time to promote the project, and take your time in confirmation of participants. In the last 2 years, young people have so many opportunities in Europe that they are applying and dropping out, applying and dropping out. The dropout rate upon being confirmed is very high these days. So for this, you need to take extra precautions. Our personal approach is the participant is not confirmed until they get the tickets, until they book the tickets. So basically what we do, we send a confirmation letter and then we give 48 hours or 72 hours to book the tickets. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that in the next 2 weeks, at some point, just the person will not drop out. And here, why it is important. Yeah, it's important because you bear full responsibility, both administrative and financial, for the project. Finding people in the last moment is harder. Then you really need to compromise on the profile of people and who is coming, and it creates again extra stress and the feeling of force majeure and being behind all the time. Yeah, so simply like don't do it. And once again, partners cannot promote your project if they don't have enough of info materials. So make them in advance, make sure that they have enough time to promote, make them visually appealing, and also so that these materials and even your posts, they speak to your target group. Yeah, imagine that if you work with young people 16, 18, oh my God, your language shouldn't be the language that you're using in your final report with a national agency. It should be use language appealing to young people. KA2 projects. When it comes to KA2 project, there are 2 critical moments. So first, areas of responsibility. So what partners are responsible for? For example, you have a dissemination partner, and then this partner makes sure that the whole consortium is doing dissemination activities. Or you are the partner who is responsible for the first intellectual output, and then you as a partner, not the coordinator of the project, is responsible for it and all the communication. Of course, you can make your own agreements. Yeah, it could be in small scale, a project that will be one applicant organization that will be pushing it more. Or could be you will completely split responsibilities and you will have 3 partners, each of them bear 33% of work and 33% of responsibility for the success. Yeah, all partners should be involved, that's for sure. But who is the one who is in charge and bears risks and at the same time monitors progress, this you need to decide. And another thing for KA2 is definitely crisis management. Yeah, you must be ready, especially if you're an applicant. If you're a partner, that's also a part of it. But if you're an applicant, then that's for sure. How will you manage crisis? What if one partner just disappears? What if the timeline is fully broken? What if your project results don't reach your target groups? Yeah, so what happens in all these scenarios and how you're going to tackle them? On the preparation stage, what's good is that you discuss it with partners and you make agreements. So for example, one partner in your consortium disappears, and then what happens? Who takes over? Yeah, how the communication is going? Do you ask national agency for changing the partner? Yeah, so what are the potential scenarios? And based on this, you choose what is best for you and for your project and also for your consortium. Whew, it looks like I'm talking a lot, so let me stop here and we are going to talk about the next phases, which is implementation and follow-up in the next video. So see you there.